Hello everybody, it's Neil Green here, and as you can see, this is a video tutorial with me pretending that I was in the field. I observed a primary clinical practice candidate, and I am at home and I'm ready to submit my performance evaluation. I wanted to show you, kind of walk you through the steps and show you some of the basics, and you guys have been doing a good job with it. And I'm going to try and discuss how to alleviate some of the typical things that have been hanging us up in the past, maybe with evaluations disappearing and etc. But the important thing for this site and right now is this address is where you will access this site. And I did a couple practice ones, that's what that is. But this is the site you're going to access, the Clinical Practice Supervisor Performance Evaluation. And I filled a couple of these out already for you, and I'll go over the basics. The first part, the front matter of this, is just general information you're going to put in, but it's very important to get the email addresses right. And as you can see, the teacher candidate will get a copy, the clinical practice supervisor will get a copy, you, and the cooperating teacher will get a copy. So everybody should be very aware of what's going on. All right, and when you fill it out, the important thing to remember is that the student has to, at the end of the experience by the final observation, has to be competent, a rating of competent. And it's expected that students will be beginning or developing on the first observation because they're just getting started out. But they have all the resources they need in order to get to that level of competency or above. And here's what I mean by that. So pretend I went to my class, I took notes, I was ready to fill out my performance evaluation for the student. And in this particular program outcome, which was planning, they were developing because they were missing a few key things. They were missing, they need to focus next time on KC 1.6, 1.7, and 1.8. And if you look over here, it tells you exactly what they are. And KC, just by the way, stands for Kendall College. But these are indicators that we came up with that we thought are important that a student teacher should be able to meet and demonstrate. And if you look through here, NA obviously means not observable or not applicable for this particular plan. So you're going to want them to do that for next time so you can see it in action. And another thing we've done is develop a cooperating teacher checklist that they submit weekly that goes to the candidate, and that also informs them of indicators that you may not see as the supervisor, only being in there 1 hour, 1.5 hours every couple weeks, or however your schedule works out with the student. So those indicators for the cooperating teacher are more of a daily type observation. Okay, but you go through here, you tell them what to focus on, then I would provide specific details on how to reach indicator 1.6 or how to move the arrow from no to yes and is acceptable. What strategies can they use? Okay, but that's what you guys do best. And then we go here, they're developing in the area of instructional delivery as well, and give them more specific feedback. And for this particular student, it were these three indicators where they were not up to snuff, I guess you could say. And then you get down here and you look assessment for this particular student. They're at a beginning level because if you look through, there wasn't anything except KC 3.3 that they communicate directions that are clear and concise. And that was the only thing that they did where they were marked a yes. Everything else was either a no or NA. So that is where you're going to want to spend a lot of your time making sure they understand fully how they can do that. How can they move from a no to a yes next time? And in addition to the narrative that we have for our indicators, we also align the Kendall College indicators with the Illinois Professional Teaching Standards, and it gives the numbers, and also in task standards, the numbers. So the students should look at all the resources available to them to get a good grip on what they can do next time to improve. And here's the last program outcome, professionalism and leadership. And yes, they are doing exceptional in this area. They're a wonderful professional. And again, I would avoid maybe exceptional at the beginning and just because you want to give them, again, the goal is growth over time, but that is your professional judgment call. But most students are going to be growing at that time, and I like to believe our Kendall students are competent and mature as far as professionalism goes. Again, that's your call. But to be exceptional, you want them to be kind of above and beyond. Then you're going to click submit, and when you click submit, okay, it didn't take me to that screen. But anyway, it'll take you to a thank you screen. Let me see. It wouldn't do it because I didn't fill out the front part here. But let me fill this out real quick. Okay, I'm just going to put my wife's name and neil.green@kendall.edu. Okay, so I fill all that out. But you know what? Let me just take you to what that would look like. So this is the email, and the email, again, goes to all three people. The teacher candidate, the supervisor, and the cooperating teacher. And if you look, the email will look something like this: that your supervisor has recently completed a performance evaluation in your classroom, and attached is a formal report of the evaluation for your review. If you have questions, follow up and that sort of thing. And this is exactly what you told them. So if I'm a student, I look at this and I know, wow, I need to do 2.8. I need to work on asking questions that engage students. And I need to work on how I respond to incorrect answers from students. Okay, where do I look for how to do this? Well, I can, research my texts from prior classes, and a good place to start would be the Illinois Professional Teaching Standards, these in particular, and InTask, these in particular standards. So they receive that. And that's it. But one scary thing that happens is that the work has been disappearing, and I don't know about you, but I just extremely dislike doing things twice. So the emails obviously have to be correct, or it's never going to get to me, or its proper destination. But one thing that I do recommend is having a backup. If it were me, I would not. That would, filling out that online form would not be the last place that the only place that I have this information. I would have a backup. So in the beginning of the quarter, you're going to receive this from me. It's a wonderful description of being a clinical practice supervisor, and it gives you a lot of information. But I just want to point out one particular area that I like a lot, and it's the observation notes section. And I would have this available with me because it's pretty much an exact mirror of what you're going to fill out for the actual formal observation. But I like to take notes. We all do things differently, but this is nice because it has the indicators in a place where you can write notes and refer to this as needed when you get back home and you're ready to fill it out formally. So hopefully this was helpful. And again, my plan is to create one of these for all for students or candidates and for cooperating teachers as well as you, so that we all are on the same page and have something to work with, and we know what we're doing. So you guys are the best. Keep up the great work, and thank you very much.